So Diane, I see that you're wearing jeans today. Could you tell me a little bit more about why you're doing that?
I'm wearing jeans so I can represent those that need to be stood up for, those that don't have a voice, that didn't have a voice at the time. I feel it's important now that we start talking about these things because for too many years this has been shoved under the rug. Sexual harassment, sexual abuse, it's not the victim's fault, and it's enough of the victim abusing.
How do you feel about people in the workplace, kind of using excuses for using inappropriate language, or having something in their desk area that would be offensive?
A lot of this goes back to the years ago when it was the good old boys club, and the men could have anything that they wanted to on their desks, and that was considered, well, just deal with it. This is also a military situation, and just because it is a military situation environment, it shouldn't make it right just because that's the way it's always been done. It's time to make changes, and it's time to be recognized.
Is it important that we have programs like this where we remind people, not just once a year, of course, but sometimes you just do need something to just remind people that this is something that we have to keep in the back of our heads?
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with telling someone that they look nice. There's nothing wrong with that if it's done in the right context. But to make it that someone, because their jeans were too tight, that it was wrong, it was not wrong.
Do you think it's become easier for women to speak out these days?
I do. I think it's they're becoming more aware of the fact that we're not going to stand for it anymore, that we don't have to be a victim, that we can stand up and be a proponent for the ones that are afraid to, because it is still, there's points where people are afraid to speak out because of what are people going to say, how are they going to feel.
Well, I do really appreciate your time, and thank you for wearing jeans today and supporting.
Thank you for wearing jeans and representing us too.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Okay.
So I see that you're wearing denim today.
Yes, I am.
And I just wanted to ask you a question about the workplace. How do you see sexual assault in the workplace? Do you think it's the employer's role to help combat that?
I think it's the employer's role and the employee's role. That every employee, every coworker has an opportunity to work in an office environment that is free of sexual harassment, sexual assault, and to the extent that if it does happen, that our employer, our boss, would take immediate actions to protect anybody from any further chance of that ever happening to them again. So that until, that situation gets resolved.
Does this kind of thing, is it important for us to be paying attention to this just once a year, or is this something that we should be looking at more frequently?
We should always be looking at it more frequently. It should be, something that we should always be looking out for each other and making sure that employees are not put in a uncomfortable situation that would potentially, expose them to that type of conduct.
Well, I really appreciate your time, and thank you for wearing denim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I see that you're totally rocked out in denim today. So what's going on with that?
Well, I saw the little tab about bringing awareness for sexual violence, I'm assuming for women.
Yeah.
And because of my background, I've known women who have been battered, and I've spoken with them. I know how difficult it was for them to even think about leaving that situation, and I don't ever know what happened to them. I did hand them the card for battered women's shelter, and that's about all you could do. But it was it was hard for them.
I understand that you volunteer somewhere?
Yep, I volunteer for PATH, People Against Trafficking in Humans. So I see firsthand how sexual violence and abuse and exploitation can adversely affect women, and how hard it is for them to get out of that, and how important it is for them to have support in order to be able to take that next step to leave that behind them.
How does having a day like this bring awareness to the public?
I'm not really sure. They said that when I read about it that this had been going on for 19 years, and this is the first year that I've heard about it. So I guess through longevity to keep it, bringing it as many people as possible to bring it out in the open, that that will at least bring awareness out, and then maybe more people can volunteer and help. I know PATH is always looking for people. And
well, thank you very much for interviewing, and thank you very much for wearing denim today.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a great day.